It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, but the thing that'll make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all of you. I'm Joel Nichols, your host for this merry, bright, and virtual event by Lakeview Village. Now, even in difficult times like these, Christmas still arrives, and Lakeview Village is offering you some cheer with a classic holiday variety show. Now, in my house, the holiday variety show is a big deal. My mom, who didn't really like to watch a lot of television, maybe the 6 o'clock news every now and then, but when it came to be Christmas time, she wanted to watch the holiday specials. She especially loved the Andy Williams Christmas special. I'm sure all of you remember that. So here we are, and we have a terrific lineup of people really putting variety in the variety show. We have traditional holiday music. We have a little bit of jazz from one of the new hot spots in downtown Kansas City. We're going to feature some holiday traditions, delicious holiday traditions, have some fun conversations. We'll hear a message of hope. We all need that. And we'll share a laugh or two. My playing and singing alone is kind of laughable. Oh, we're going to have a conversation, too, with a bearded man in red. And no, I'm not talking about Santa Claus. Well, 2020 has been so strange, and I don't know about you, but we need a little something, you know? We need to find a little bit of, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I think our first guest knows the answer. The amazing Katie Carl.
Haul out the holly, put up the tree before my spirit falls again. Fill up the stockings, I may be rushing things, but deck the halls again now. For we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the windows, carols at the spinet. Yes, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. It hasn't snowed a single flurry, but Santa dear, we're in a hurry. So climb down the chimney, put up the brightest string of lights I've ever seen. Slice up the fruitcake, it's time we hung some tinsel from that evergreen bough. For I've grown a little leaner, grown a little colder, grown a little sadder, grown a little older. Yes, I need a little angel sitting on my shoulder. I need a little Christmas now. Sparkles, tinsel, magic, music, and lights. For we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the windows, carols at the spinet. Yes, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. It hasn't snowed a single flurry, but Santa dear, we're in a hurry. So climb down the chimney. It's been a long time since I've felt good neighborly. Slice up the fruitcake. It's time we hung some tinsel from that bayberry bough. For we need a little music, need a little laughter, need a little singing, ringing through the rafters. Yes, we need a little happy, snappy ever after. We need a little Christmas now. Need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the windows, carols at the spinet. Yes, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. We need a little Christmas now. We need a little Christmas now.
Sir, I'm gonna need you to get out of the car. You've received a ticket for being a jolly old elf.
Officer Oliver.
Yep.
I would ask you what you want to be when you grow up, but I've got a pretty good idea what you want to be.
Yeah.
So you're 9 years old.
How did all of this start? How did you know you wanted to be Officer Oliver?
When I was like 4 years old, all I wanted was a police uniform. And then I got it. And then I went to a police station and then I just wanted to keep doing it. I passed out flowers. I did everything I do. But since COVID, I can't really do it, which I don't like that.
So I know that one of the beats that you patrol will be retirement communities.
They don't actually get that much visitors. So I wanted to do something good with them. And then I started doing this.
What do you think is important about what you're doing? Why do you think it matters so much?
Because right now, police officers are going through a really hard time. And then same as like nursing home people, and everybody's going for a really hard time right now.
I've seen video of you giving hugs, and it just seems like both you and the person that you're serving the citation to are just having a wonderful time.
Yeah, I really like this.
But it's neat that you reached out to fellow officers, and what was their reaction? They must have thought Officer Oliver is a pretty cool guy.
I love supporting police officers. I love all they do.
And this is sort of your way to show love and caring and all that kind of.
Yep.
If you could have anything, we're in the holiday season, so if Officer Oliver could have anything for Christmas, what would you want?
I would probably get some stuff for the police officers, maybe even get some flowers for the nursing homes.
That is a wonderful, very selfless thing to say. Now I want to talk to the 9-year-old, because I've had lots of kids, and I know that 9-year-olds also want other stuff. What really good thing would just Oliver want, just for you?
I would like a lot of police stuff.
So I'm driving along, minding my own business, and all of a sudden, here comes this motorcycle and Officer Oliver. I want to know, why did you pull me over? How come?
You were speeding.
Speeding?
Yeah.
Really? Well, I appreciate you pulling me over, and you did actually give me a citation for something else. It didn't say speeding on it. What did it say?
It said for being too much of a grumpy elf.
A grumpy elf?
Well, didn't say grumpy, but still.
You know, this reminds me of something, because I know that you do keep an eye on another driver who you think sometimes goes too fast. Tell me about that person.
My mom. That she's always speeding. She had to move my seat over to the other side because she's speeding too much.
So you couldn't see the speedometer?
I think the policemen need to keep a close eye on her.
Hello and welcome to Lonnie's Reno Club. It's the holidays. Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer. It's a time for all the children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, and there's carols everywhere. Olden times and ancient rhymes, joy and dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, and there's beauty everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside makes joyful music. Christmas time is here. All the families are flowing. Oh, that we could always see this spirit through the years.
makes joyful memories there. Christmas time is here. All the families are drawing near. Oh, that we could always see this spirit through the years.
Legendary Lonnie McFadden.
And me.
But look where we are.
know.
Tell everybody
Wow.
where we're sitting right now.
We're actually
Where we are sitting socially distanced.
Social distance.
Yes.
We're socially distancing here at Lonnie's Reno Club. That's still not natural for me to say. Whenever I say that, even sometimes when I say it on stage, I start to tear up a little bit. I mean, that's still surreal to me, Joel. Right. I mean,
and your name is legendary, but Reno Club in Kansas City, like this gentleman here and so many others, Count Basie and so many others.
It's like I grew up hearing about the Reno Club from the time I was a little boy. You know, my father was a tap dancer, used to be part of the floor show. And so he told me about, I heard so many stories, and there's a lot of people know that's where Count Basie got discovered from, just because of the radio broadcast that was going on. John Hammond heard him in New York. He's listening to this radio. He was like, what the, and the rest is history. And that's where Count Basie got his name, Count Basie. Before that, the radio announcers just announced Bill Basie, William Basie. And then this one night, I guess maybe he had something else to drink. He said, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Count Basie, and it stuck. And that started at the Reno Club, which was just 4 blocks away from here.
Right here.
The original Reno Club.
Because we are in the Ambassador Hotel.
Yes, we are.
And people need to know that so they can come and see you.
1111 Grand.
And they can see you play and sing, and you got a great band, and it's a great atmosphere. And we are surrounded by, in addition to Count Basie, so many other amazing faces from golden era of Hollywood and music, everything.
Yes. And that's what this whole vibe was about, the glamour and the essence of Kansas City in 1930. So that's the reason you'll see all of these historic pictures of great musicians and great movie stars, because the movie stars, I thought, would help pronounce the glamour that was going, because people used to dress up to go out back then, so that's what we got. We got Hot Lips Page, Charlie Parker, Mary Lou Williams, of course Count Basie.
I know this is something you wanted for a long time.
Well, we've had a lot of conversations, yeah.
I mean, a place with your name on it that you can be on a regular basis.
I didn't know my name would be on it. Any name could have been on it, Joe. I just wanted a job. Really. You know that. I mean, my name being on it just blows me away. The owner of the Ambassador Hotel, I met him the second time I played. We were playing outside at the outdoor venue, and when I met him, he said, come here, I want to show you something. He came, showed me this meeting room down here at the lower level. It was empty. It was all white walls, and it was bright lights. And he said, I'm seeing a speakeasy. Can you see that? I'm like, oh, yeah. He said, where would you put the band? And he asked me a few more questions. And I'm thinking he's just picking my brain.
Right. After
I finished talking, he said, I love it. I love it. I love it. Lonnie, we're going to do it, and we're going to name it after you. Wow. So that's why I'm sitting here now. And my wife calls this my home away from home, because I come here every day and practice on my tap dancing and stuff. It just feels like home here. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Do you hear your father's voice and father's taps here?
Yeah. And that's interesting, because Eric Wiley, the manager here, when they were hanging the pictures and deciding where they wanted to put them, he purposely put the picture of the 4 chocolate drops there. He said, I want you to be able to see your father every night while you're tap dancing. And the first night that I looked over there, and that got to me. That it still gets to me sometimes.
Even with COVID, to open right now.
Even with COVID. even with COVID. That's one of the miracles that came for me out of COVID, because this literally would not have happened had COVID-19. Here's the thing. I would not have got hired to play outside because there would not have been an outside venue. If not for COVID-19, they just would have had they have a little jazz that they used to play upstairs, and they'd have a little duo in the corner, and that was fine. But after COVID came, they needed to do something where people could socially distance, and that's when they called me. And the second week I was here is when the owner met me, and so literally, had it not been for COVID-19, this would not have happened for me. So everything is good. I mean, I just roll with life. I embrace it. I embrace the good, the bad, and look at it.
What were the holidays like in the McFadden household? And I know that you think of your mom every day, but it must be extra special during the holidays.
Wow, man, my mom and dad, I still don't know how they did it, because we grew up very humble, very not making a lot of money. My father worked at the post office, and my mom worked as a bartender out at Hillcrest Country Club, and they were raising the four of us, and she was the president of the PTA. Every day we had hot meals for breakfast. Every day we came home to hot dinners in the evening. I mean, I'm a parent. I wasn't able to do that. That's what my mom did. And Christmas, it was like somebody just went in Walmart and backed up the truck and got all the best toys and brought them to my house. And I'm not exaggerating. You could ask any of my brothers and sisters, kids in the neighborhood. I would wake up Christmas morning and walk downstairs and look, and it would be bright lights. I mean, they were into presentation too. Bright lights, new bicycles, train sets, and they'd be set up. It would be a train set with the train going. My dad would be sitting over there playing with back then they had slot cars, racing cars. He'd be, hey, Lonnie, come here, look at this. And he's playing with the slot cars in the train. It would be like so much going on. And the night before, it was just a Christmas tree and so a few presents under the Christmas tree. We wake up the next morning, and it was like, whoa, we fell into Wonderland. So Christmas has always been a very special time for me, even at my age now. Christmas is a certain vibe in there. I think of the children. I think of people that aren't able to experience great material things. And that's one of the things that makes music so awesome to me, because you don't have to. It's not about a money thing. All of us have a song in our heart, and I like to bring the joy. That's my thing. 1, 2, 3. Happened to me. It was an obvious case of mistaken identity. You see, a man came up to me, looked about as big as a house. He thought I was the guy he saw with his spouse. I knew right away, if I don't want to be beat, I better swing like Count Basie. In the middle of the street, I began to swing, just like Basie. Swing, I began to swing, just like Count Basie. It feels so good inside. One little thing would make my life complete. If I could swing like Basie, that would be sweet. When I was raising children, I'd take them to the park. I told them we could stay there till it starts to get dark. Well, they'd run all around and have tons of fun. But every single time before the day was done, they sit on that chair with the chains going high and swing like Count Basie, trying to touch the sky. They like to swing, just like Basie. Swing low. Oh, they wanna swing, just like Count Basie. Feels so good inside. One little thing would make my life complete. If I could swing like Basie, that would be sweet. Okay, let's talk about music, since that's what I do. I love R&B and the new jazz too. Well, I'm from Kansas City, so I just have to say, I think it's been embedded in my DNA. If I pick up that horn and I want to sound good, I try to swing like Count Basie. Back in the hood, I like to swing. Swing the hood. Oh, I want to swing just like Count Basie. Feels so good inside. One little thing would make my life complete. If I could swing like Basie, that would be sweet on and sweet.
For so many of us, the holidays, Christmas in particular, means great food and friends and family, and there's no better expert anywhere about great food, friends, and family than Jasper Mirabile.
Oh, thank you, my
It is
friend.
so good to have you.
Buona Natale, Buona Natale.
And save that, because we're going to use that again and
We
again
will.
and again. It is so nice of you to let us come in and do this, and I want everybody to know we are in a well-ventilated room. We've got our masks on, which
yes.
is great this time of the year because it gives me little elf ears.
It does.
So it's perfect all the way around. What are we making?
So we're making a dish that we always have on Christmas Day, a Tuscan pork ragu. Of course, in Tuscany, you have a lot of pasta dishes, of course.
Sure.
But this is something really from wintertime that you would want to have because it's a little heartier. It's easy to prepare. I mean, we're talking about 7 ingredients plus a tomato sauce. So it goes very quickly.
It's like a little hug, isn't
Exactly. I like
it?
that.
A little gastronomical hug.
So we're going to start off, heat the fire a little bit of olive oil, of course you need, and we're going to start with a sofrito.
Okay.
Sofrito
What is
is
that?
onions, carrots, and celery. So it's 3 different ingredients that we're adding, 3 vegetables. That's the beginning. That's going to give it a lot of our flavor. No sugar because we're adding the carrots. We want a little bit of crunch but more flavor, so we add the celery.
Okay,
But-
I see all these things here, Jasper. You know what I don't see?
I know what you're going to ask me right now.
I don't see garlic.
No garlic. So if you want my opinion, in America, and a lot of Italians will tell you this, we abuse garlic. We really do. And everybody in America thinks that a pasta dish has to have garlic in it. It does not.
Yeah, because there's no garlic on this dish.
No, not at all. So, but look how quickly this goes. And I love these kind of pans. They're like an Italian wok. But it's cooking. You can smell it right now.
It smells great.
Even
It
with the
looks
mask on,
beautiful, too.
yeah.
You know, it's just a beautiful
So
looking thing.
you have to add now your ground pork and beef. My grandmother would use pork, beef, and veal, but you really don't see much ground veal in Tuscany. So That's the only tradition I don't have with this. But
So this is something you would have around the table for your family.
exactly. And whatever pasta you would like. We'll bring out a little rigatoni very quickly here. But look how quickly this is cooking. And you just got to keep this going with your hand like I'm doing here.
Right.
You don't want to stop.
Now, is this around your place? Would this be a Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
No, Christmas Day. Good question, because Christmas Eve, no meat.
Okay.
That's the Feast of the Seven Fishes. So you would have shrimp and crab and, anything, tuna,
We
things
used to
like
have
that.
oysters too in our
Oh, yeah,
family
exactly, because
for Christmas Eve. And I
Exactly.
grew up in Wisconsin, not exactly oyster country. So
no, but that's very. My wife does
it was
a.
always a question mark.
We always do a baked oyster dish, almost like a stuffing. See how this is cooking? Now this is the perfect time.
How do you know it's the perfect time?
Because I can smell it, and I can see it starting to get. Look around the edges there.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Get a rosemary branch and watch this. And we just strip it.
Look at that.
Okay, and all that flavor now is in there. Unlike dried rosemary, which you may have a little choke, with that.
So you're
The
just
fresh
making it look
rosemary.
like Charlie Brown's Christmas
There you
tree,
go.
and you're set.
You know what? In 40 years, no one has ever said that to me. I love it. I'm gonna remember that. But now, do you smell that?
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that smells good. This is really pungent, this stuff. Wow.
And you see why I like this pan? Look what I'm doing. You could buy these, on the Amazon or something like that. You can go look for them.
It's just like with anything, the tools are important. aren't
They are very important. A good knife, a cutting board, and a couple of pans. That's all you need. So that is 90% cooked right now. Can you believe it? In just a few minutes?
Yeah, just like that.
And to that, we're gonna add slow simmered tomato sauce.
All right.
And this kind of seals the deal right here.
Hey, at your house, when you were a little kid, or even now, because you're a grandpa now,
Oh yes, come on, thank you.
and your grandchild has a nickname already.
I call her Cheeks just like me with the big, her cheeks are as big as mine, the poor little baby.
But when you were a kid, or when your daughter was little, what did you put out for Santa? I would think, visiting Jasper's house, Santa really got a pretty good
You
deal.
know what, I always said, we got to put out some meatballs for him. This is the truth. Of course, Mama would always have her Italian cookies.
Yeah.
So
Santa did pretty well.
Santa did real well. Except for the time I caught my brother Sam eating the cookies, so I kind
Are
of
those
thought,
the cookies right there?
these are them. That's, you led right into that. Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Can
And
I
they're
sneak
so,
one?
yeah, come on.
Sneak one.
And they're so simple. We're talking 4 ingredients: flour, butter, confection sugar, and a little bit of vanilla.
Worth lifting the mask.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you. Look at this sauce. Our sauce is complete. I mean, we have been doing this 4 minutes, and it's ready. But now I made the sauce ahead of time, but the actual dish is ready. You could use a jarred sauce. There's nothing the matter with that.
That's beautiful. So what do the holidays mean to you? Now, I mean, especially now that you've got another generation in your family, it must be
Family.
extra special.
A la familia, it's all about the family, and that's what we talk about a lot. Being together. Things are a little bit different right now, with people not being all together, and who's going to do it on Zoom or whatever, your
Right.
holidays. But just having everyone together and bringing everyone to the table. To us, it's all about being at the table together. When you're at the table together and you're sharing, and that's what it doesn't matter about gifts or material things.
This is a gift right
Look
here.
at that.
Jasper, thank you so much. For
buon
the
appetito.
cookies, for the tradition, for the friendship, for this. It's beautiful.
Grazie, grazie. And what we always say in our family, Buon Natale.
Buon Natale.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I gotta go away.
Baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has
Been hoping
been
that you drop
so
in.
very nice.
I'll hold your hands, they're just like
My
ice.
mother will start to worry.
Beautiful, what's your
My father
hurry?
will be pacing the floor.
Listen to that fireplace roar.
So really, I'd better scurry.
Beautiful, please don't
But
hurry.
maybe just a half a drink more.
Put some records on while I pour.
The neighbors might think,
Baby, it's bad out there.
say, what is in this drink?
No cabs to be had out there.
I wish I knew how
Your eyes are like starlight
to
now.
break the spell.
I'll take your hat, your hair looks swell.
I ought to say no, no, no,
Mind if
ma'am.
I'm moving
At least I'm
closer?
gonna say that I tried.
What's the sense of hurting my pride?
I really can't stay.
Oh, baby, don't hold out. Baby, it's cold outside.
I simply must go.
Baby, it's cold outside.
The answer is no.
Baby, it's cold outside.
The welcome has been
So happy that you dropped
so
in.
nice and warm.
Look out the window at that
My
storm.
sister will be
Gushy
suspicious.
lips look delicious.
My brother will be there at the door.
Waves upon a tropical shore.
My maiden aunt's mind is
Gushy
vicious.
lips look
But
delicious.
maybe just a cigarette more.
Never such a blizzard before.
I gotta get home.
Baby, you'll freeze out there.
Say, lend me your coat.
It's up to your knees out there.
You've really been grand.
I feel when I touch your
but
hand.
don't you see?
How can you do this thing to
There's
me?
bound to be talk tomorrow.
Think of my lifelong
At
sorrow.
least there will be plenty implied.
If you got pneumonia and
I really
die,
can't stay.
get over that holdout. Baby, it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold. Baby, it's cold outside.
Look who we have. We have a Christmas present we don't even have to open. The great Bobby Bell is here, the first Kansas City Chief inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, part of that first Super Bowl team. And Mr. Bell, it is always an honor and a pleasure to talk to you. And before we go too far, we need to share with all our friends in Lakeview Village and all the friends of Lakeview Village what is behind you. Look at that room you're sitting in. It's amazing.
This is I don't know what you call it, man cave. I guess you call it that. I got a few things, little trophies up, little awards that I got over the last 40 some years and stuff, Part of them is still locked up. I can't get them all on the wall,
You're in too many halls of fame to even talk about. You're in so many of them. But it's interesting, when you were in Minnesota, I think the Chiefs were so convinced you were going to go with the Vikings that they didn't grab you as quickly as maybe they should have, and they were lucky to get you when they did get you. And then that begins the Kansas City chapter.
So everybody, they figured the Vikings drafted me like the second round. Everybody's just sitting around and said, well, he's going to play with the Vikings. But it didn't work like that. Lamar Hunt came by and said, whoa. And he was kind of upset. I don't know, the story about Lamar. He was kind of upset with Minnesota because that Minnesota was supposed to be in the AFL. And at the last minute, they changed their mind. They went to the National Football. And that's how Oakland got into the thing. And Lamar came up I never dealt with anyone but Lamar Hunt. Lamar came up and talked to me, and he kept saying, well, I want you to be with my, I'd like for you to come play with our team. At that time, Joe, it was Dallas, Texas.
Right.
It was not the Kansas City Chiefs. So it was Dallas, Texas, So I said, well, I don't know. I said, well, I didn't have no agent. I had some good people that looked over my shoulder, Don Knutson and Mr. Lang. They were just like dads to me. They wanted to make sure they were doing the negotiation. So, it was funny. I'm sitting at the table and they talking about, well, what do you think, Bobby? What do you think you want? What do you think you should get salary-wise? And this is 1962. Can you imagine? 1962. I'm going like, I don't know. I said, what about 25,000? 25,000, 1962. That's a lot of money back then, And they looked at me and go, oh, really? What you make last year, Bobby? And I worked for it. I said, well, I don't know. I said, I couldn't do much, because I worked for the university in the summertime. I think I made $3,000, and they said 3,000, huh? So that's how it started out, but I said, wow, what are we gonna do? But the main thing was about that was that Lamar Hunt said, whatever it's gonna take to get me. So a lot of people don't realize it, but that back then I ended up signing the, I think it was 7-year contract. And that's how I ended up with the Chiefs.
I read that in these odd pandemic COVID-19 days, you have been a real kind of guardian angel to a lot of your teammates because you're keeping an eye on these men and their families who are
in that age group where it's an impactful virus. This could be real trouble. And I read that you've really made it sort of a mission to keep tabs on all of them.
Well, you know, I don't know if you call it, I don't like to say that, keep tabs on them, you know, check them out. But I have a thing, it's been over years, you know, is to call guys and wish them happy birthday, anniversaries, you know. I have my teammates, I call them up on their birthdays, you know, anniversaries, something, checking on them. Haven't heard it, just checking on them. And I do that, you know. It shocks them sometimes. They go, oh, how you know? What's that? And when I got into the Hall of Fame, I do the same thing, you know. And I call them up, you know, and the guys go, oh, how you know it? And a lot of the Hall of Fame people, guys knows it now, you know. I be calling them up. Happy birthday, you know.
Patrick Mahomes, who we can talk all night about how talented he is and how gifted he is and how hard he works, but he seems to fit that mold, doesn't he, of being part of the community in addition to being part of the team.
Patrick Mahomes is a real deal. Well, I told everybody, hey, man, this guy is going to light up the city. And that's it. He's an ordinary everybody. He loves it. He loves it. He plays ball like he's out in the park. You know, they pick up a game, you know. They throw the ball behind his back, over his head, whatever it takes to win the game. That's what he does, you know. And, you know, he keeps everybody involved. He loves players. If you see when he's passing the ball, what does he do? He spreads it out. He don't give it to one player. He gives it to them all. Hey, man, just keep running. I get it to you. Just keep running. Hey, they're playing good this year. I'm hoping they could repeat to the Super Bowl so they can get another Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, that's right, because you got one from this. They gave everybody a ring from the last one, right?
Not everybody, but they did. You gotta be careful how you say that. They did. I did get one.
Yeah,
I got one.
You kind of look like a little bit like Santa Claus, if you don't mind me saying. You got the red shirt, you got the beard. You could.
Yeah, I got the beard, and Pam won't let me cut it off. I got this rich. She said, "Put your jersey on it. It goes good with you." But you know, for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I think I played Santa Claus at the Chiefs during December. And everybody shocks them, you know. You should see my Santa Claus outfit. It's amazing. Oh man.
Well, you brighten every room you walk into, Bobby Bell, and we sure appreciate you taking time to visit with us today. And you and yours stay happy and healthy. And thanks again. You really do make Kansas City extra special.
Well, thank you, Joel, and nice seeing you again. You know, although we're a couple of feet away. I mean, 2 inches, about I think 36 inches here now. But you know, you be safe. Hey, God bless you.
Take care. Thank you, Bobby.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases, may all your Christmases, may all your Christmases be white.
Well, my name is Wendy Lyons Crossteck, and joining me today is Scott, my husband, and we're both pastors at Church of the Resurrection. And we want to just welcome you and want to say thanks so much for this beautiful Christmas season. And I thought I might share a little bit about ourselves. We have a little boy named Freddie who's 5 years old, and just this weekend we were hanging out in the living room, and he needed something from his bedroom. He wanted a toy from his bedroom. And I said, well, why don't you go get it, buddy? And he said, well, I don't want to. It's dark in there. Will you come with me? And so I walked up with him, and when we got to the edge of his bedroom, I turned the light on, and he said, okay, I got it now. And as we're thinking about Christmas and what it looks like, what I know is that when it's dark, you can't see things, and you don't know what's happening, and it's a little bit scary. But as soon as I turned the light on, he was just fine, because he knew that everything was going to be okay.
I think that's my favorite part about the Christmas season. It's the promise of light and the power that light has. And when we think about the Christmas season, we rarely think about the importance of light shining in the darkness. And one of my favorite scripture passages, in addition to the birth story and to the kind of that narrative or that almost storybook feel of Christmas, where you go through the story of the manger and the angels in the field and the shepherds and all the wise men. In addition to that, I love reading the Gospel of John. And the Gospel of John is just so simple, and it speaks specifically to the light. In John 1, this is what we read. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God, and all things came into being through him. Without him, not one thing came into being. And what has come into being in him was life. And the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. When I think about the darkness now, for Freddie, it was the stairway that led to his room, and that was a scary thing to travel through. But when I think about this holiday season, this Christmas, the darkness looks like being separated from family and friends, being limited in how it is that we can celebrate, our traditions being modified by the circumstances that surround us, the reality of COVID. Whatever it might be, there seems to be darkness around us, but this is also a season to remember that the light is not overcome by the darkness. The light enters into the world and it pierces the darkness. And so Christmas, as we listen to the songs and we experience the season, one of the things that we also can experience is the power of light. And so you see evergreen trees illuminated by these little specks of light. You drive up and down the street and you see houses decorated with light. You have a moment every day to flip the light switch on and to remember that God is present with us always. This light that shines in the darkness. And because of that presence that cannot be extinguished, we have hope, and we have the ability to experience joy, and we have the opportunity to live fully into this season without fear, trusting that God will lead us forward faithfully into a future filled with hope, marked by light, illuminating our path. And so we're so grateful to be able to celebrate Christmas, and we hope that during this season you might find simple ways to experience the light and the life of Jesus Christ as we celebrate God with us, Emmanuel, the light that shines in the darkness.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Well, we hope there was something here to make you smile, perhaps lift your spirits, and certainly to brighten your day and brighten your holidays, too. We want to thank you for joining us for a classic holiday variety show from Lakeview Village and wish you all the best of Christmases and a healthy, happy 2021. So stay safe, stay well, and stay warm. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way, loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. So I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Really should have asked Santa for piano lessons.
Thank you for joining us for our event today. My name is Lynn Tenbrink, and I'm new to Lakeview Village. And just as you, I'm looking forward to being able to have our events in person sometime soon. Please watch for our invitation for our January event, and happy holidays from Lakeview Village.